Welcome to the 2022 Digital Controller CFO Study Preview and Panel Discussion, brought to you by the Controllers Council. My name is Neil Brown, Executive Director of the Controllers Council. Before I introduce our expert panelists, let's take a quick look at the agenda. First, I'll introduce the panelists, say a quick word about our sponsor, and cover some housekeeping. Then we'll get right to the study results and questions for our panelists, along with Q&A from you, the audience. So those housekeeping items then, before we get started, attendees, please submit questions via GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll get to as many as possible in the hour. We'll have an audience polling question toward the end, so please participate in the poll via the GoToWebinar control panel and be able to benchmark your peers on that poll question. Now, in answer to a frequent question, yes, you will receive a link to this webcast via email in the next 24 hours, so no need for notes or screenshots. So with that, allow me to introduce our presenters, our panelists. Omar Choucair, CFO at Trintech. Omar is a CPA and a serial CFO of several public companies, a former KPMG alum, and he's active in the Forbes Finance Council and has several publishings there. Also, David Woodall, Director of Strategic Marketing, R2R and Finance Operations at Trintech, and previously with GSK, also in R2R. David is a fellow of the Chartered Association of Certified Accountants, the FCCA designation. Welcome, Omar and David. Now, just a little bit about our sponsor. Both our study and our webcast. Trintech is a leading finance and accounting F&A management and automation solution, including financial close, transaction matching, reconciliations, intercompany accounting, journal entries, disclosure reporting, and more. Here are some additional details about Trintech. Now let's get to the study abstract. The 2022 Digital Controller CFO Study. All right, yes, so this is a benchmark study, meaning that we conducted this study in 2021 as well. So corporate controllers and CFOs are taking on more responsibilities for technology, including automating back office systems, managing spend, implementing finance and accounting or F&A automation systems, including artificial intelligence and machine learning, and participating in or leading corporate technology and digital transformation initiatives. The objective of this benchmark study was to identify how controllers, CFOs, and their F&A departments are changing and adapting to the digital revolution. A national survey was conducted in June to August of this year, with nearly 300 respondents participating across North America. So now let's take a look at key takeaways. First, 69% of controller CFOs have increasing responsibilities for corporate technology, with 92% managing F&A technology and 61% managing corporate technology budgeting, 28% supervising IT. Controllers and CFOs are automation early adopters, with 19% using for F&A and another 27% planning to use, for a total of combined total of 46%. Controllers and CFOs are driving digital transformation, with 70% participating in F&A digital transformation, 58% supervising F&A digital transformation, 35% participating in corporate digital transformation, and 14% supervising all digital transformation. And finally, top F&A systems include AP at 94%, accounting ERP at 93%, AR at 44%, and a new category, financial corporate performance management, that includes journal entry, financial close, and reconciliations, are used by 33%. So with that, let's get to our first question. How is your role in corporate technology changing between this year and next? Not surprising, 69% are increasing, followed by 29% either the same or not changing, and only 1% decreasing. Very similar to last year's study. Omar, do you see your CFO role as taking on more corporate technology and other responsibilities? And a follow-up, will CFO controller responsibilities continue to increase?
Sure. Good morning, and good morning to everyone. Thanks, Neil. Thanks for hosting us. And it's always interesting to get these these surveys back, and we look at the surveys, almost every month, different surveys, and the underlying theme is that CFOs and controllers continue to automate. And I think what started off maybe several years ago in terms of simply automating your T&E policy or automating your AP has quickly grown to automating, as many different categories inside the office of the CFO. So I think this is absolutely great for the office of the CFO. And in terms of corporate technology, I think the reason why CFOs are more involved is that they're the ones that are, he or she are the ones that are receiving the benefit. And I think the the return on investment has become clear for controllers and CFOs, and I think the the quality of the applications have obviously increased and become more. There's a larger breadth of applications that companies can use. So I know we're going to talk a little bit more about it in the past, but I think this is absolutely great news. And to think that over 2/3 of the respondents have increased their role year over year is very telling.
David, your perspective on the office of the CFO or the controllership in 5 years?
Yeah, in 5 years' time, I think this is interesting, and thank you for hosting this, and welcome to everybody joining us. Where are we going to be in 5 years? I think we're definitely seeing more of a requirement now on the Office of Finance to become that strategic partner to the business. So historically, we've always been looking at those producing a sort of reliable financial statements and looking at historical data. I think there's more of a drive now to be more of that partner with the business. So the reality is, how do our teams now drive that additional partnership with currently the volume of work? We continually see, if we sort of break it down into 3 key areas around strategic risk, operational risk, and compliance risk, we are having to do more of this with less resource and increased deadlines. So I think we are going to have to see technology as a potential solution to enable our Office of Finance to be able to grow and drive into that sort of requirement of business partnering. But I think also as well, we're going to see those companies become more tech savvy and people become more tech savvy. And a lot of that's going to be also driven by the demands of our workforce as well. I think there is less tolerance from the newer generation of accountants coming through to be dealing with those inefficient workplaces. They want to add, we all want to add, we go into work wanting to add value to what we do. So again, I think going to be that driver to push people to look at that technology element, and that's also going to help drive some changes in the roles as well. So our traditional accountant role is also going to develop over the next few years, and if you start to embrace that now, I think that sets the organization up well for the future. There's also another area here. The technology is developing significantly as well. I started looking at this back in sort of 2014-15, and I think the growth over the last couple of years in how that technology is developing is also going to be significant. I think we're just on the fringes of technology such as AI and ML, and I can really see that starting to be